Hi guys, I am Emily, and I am going to tell you about the shocking secret my family hid from me for years. You won't ever guess what it was. Let me take you back to 5 years ago. I am an only child, and I live with my mom and my dad.
Dad is a manager for a chain of home improvement stores. He is always changing what store he manages, so we move around the country a lot.
It is kind of difficult to make and keep friends when you are only in one town for a year. Or sometimes less. It is getting even more difficult now that I am 15. I never complained when we moved when I was younger. It always seemed like a big adventure.
I met him on my first day at the school I am in at the moment.
And I was obsessed with him straight away.
He is so gorgeous and popular.
I never thought that he would be interested in me, but he was. We started going out, and he even bought me a ring as a present. He is so romantic.
But then it all went wrong. That night over dinner was when Dad told me that we were going to be moving again. We would only be in this town for 1 more week before we would have to move over 100 miles away.
It was so far away. I wouldn't be able to see BRAD anymore. I couldn't take it. It was heartbreaking. I had finally found somewhere where I really liked to live, and I was going to have to move? Nope, I was dead set against it.
I told Dad and Mom that I was staying, and that they were going to have to move without me.
I wasn't expecting Dad to react the way he did.
He didn't get angry. He just told me that I had no choice, and I had to do what he said.
Naimtima.
Akika! But I had enough. Ugh, why do you never listen to me? I've had enough of this argument.
I am usually calm, but I was just so angry I couldn't help it.
I had been holding on to my anger for so long.
Not just because of the constant moving, but because of a lot of things. My family just never make an effort to understand and listen to me. Dad ducked and it missed him, but it hit the wall of our apartment with such force that it smashed. Then I picked up other plates and threw them too. I just couldn't stop. I was screaming at him too.
Mom started crying and told me that I had to calm down as I would scare the neighbors. Well, I was too angry to listen.
She got a brush and dustpan and started to clear up the glass.
But she was in such a state that she cut her hand on a piece of broken glass. There was blood everywhere. I was so upset. I never meant for my mom to hurt herself. Then I saw something outside, flashing blue lights. It was the police. I couldn't believe that someone had called them. I was so scared.
Dad answered the door to them and let 2 policemen in.
Then I got really upset. I talked to the police and apologized and told them that it was all my fault and I was so sorry. And I would never act like that again.
The police accepted my reasoning and decided to leave us. But on the way out, he paused and said he just needed to fill in some paperwork before he went.
My dad said it was completely understandable. All he wanted to know was our names.
Then what happened next really shocked me. My dad told the police some fake names. And not just for him, but for my mom and me too. Oh, I wouldn't show me, and I won't hapong a bear. I was so shocked I didn't say anything back. When the police were gone, I stood there in a shocked silence. There was food all over the walls. I expected my dad to turn around and shout at me, but he didn't. He just turned around calmly and told me to go and pack my bags. I opened my mouth to ask him what was happening, but he raised his hand up to his mouth and shushed me. I ran up to my room in tears. What was going on? I Skyped Brad and was crying so much that I don't think he really understood what was happening. Then Dad came in and took my phone off of me and told me to hurry up.
Two hours later, we were driving in the dark to the new town where Dad was going to be working.
Why had Dad given fake names to the police? And why were we having to move in such a rush?
When we got to the town, I found out we were staying in a really run-down motel.
When we got there, I stormed off and told my parents I was going for a walk.
I wandered aimlessly around the streets. I called Brad up and calmly told him what had happened.
He listened and believed my crazy story. He kept trying to guess why my parents had lied about who they were. And it did seem likely. All of this moving around the country and lying to the police. I wanted to run away and go and be with Brad, but I had no money. Then he had an idea. He suggested I speak to the police myself.
I didn't want to do it over the phone, so I went to a police station. I was really nervous. The man at the desk thought I was lying at first.
I just begged him to believe me and to pass it on to the police officers who had been to my old apartment earlier that night. When I left, I still wasn't sure if he believed me or not.